I'm not a queen. And I'm not anywhere near royalty. So, who am I? I'm the hot processed peasant. Give me a chance, give me a thumbs up, give me a like. Thanks. Hello everybody. I am looking like a drowned rat to introduce this soap because I had to run out in the rain and fix something, so I'm kind of disheveled. Okay, I want to introduce the soap that I'm fixing to do, and I'm going to use a recipe that I've used before. I Superfat this recipe at 9%, which is really high. We'll have to see when we cut it in a second how that works out, if that was really super high, but I made some adjustments, and so I'll tell you about that as we go along. And I'm doing a 4-pound batch in a slab mold. I don't have a cutter. I'm going to be using a ruler and a knife. We'll see how that goes. I don't know what's going to happen. I never know. It's every soap is an experiment, and that's true, really. And now somebody's texting me. I hope you get the 70s vibe. I hope you get the 1970s vibe from it, because those are the colors I'm using, and it smells like fall. We'll say fall 1978. 1970 style fall soap using autumn spice. Yum yum. It smells good in here. So enjoy. Hello everybody. It's the Soap Peasant back with you to do a fall soap, and it's going to be hopefully in the 1970s style colors, because if you think about it, the 70s used a lot of orange and yellow and green and burgundy and colors like that, and didn't make for such great fashion. However, they are fall colors, and so I'm going to use a slab mold and try to do a faux funnel pour, and we'll see how it works out. And for colorants, I'm going to use yellow oxide pigment from Brambleberry, also from Brambleberry burgundy pigment, and apple moss green mica. And then I'm going to also use Adobe orange mica, which is from Wholesale Supplies Plus. Because it's such a high superfat, the first thing I did was I added about a thumb size amount of Texas beeswax, and I also added 1 extra teaspoon of sea salt. So instead of, for a 4-pound batch, 4 teaspoons of sea salt, I have 5 teaspoons of sea salt. I also upped the sodium lactate. Instead of 1 teaspoon per pound, which would be 4 teaspoons normally, I upped it to 5 teaspoons. So those are the 2 changes that I made, and so I am going to get a temperature reading on the oil and the lye, and then I'll bring you back as soon as I've started to add it. Tried to get you a little bit better view for what it's worth. Anyway, I'm trying my new stick blender. I'm a little bit nervous about it because it says that you're supposed to use it for 2 minutes and then let it rest, and I thought, oh man. But anyway, so I'm going to try it out and see, and I'm going to try it on the lowest speed, but I'm going to add the colloidal oats. Squeeze the trigger on this thing. Okay, that seems like that's alright. Okay, the lye's in. And now let's see what it does. I gotta clean this thing off. Let's see if I can get as much of this off and in here as I can, just because I just want to. Alright, I'm gonna put the plastic over it. I'm gonna time it for, I'm gonna say 4 minutes. And then we'll come back and see what it's like in 4 minutes. What it's doing. So I'll bring it back. Hang in there. Okay. It has been sitting for just a few minutes while I get my additives warmed up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add the other stuff before the witch hazel. I was going to add that first, and I thought, probably not a good idea, ding dong. Yeah, it's still really hot. It's about 200 degrees, if you can imagine that. Boy, I tell you, it's hot. You want it to stay hot, I'm going to say, because you want it to keep its fluidity. You don't want it to cool off too much, because then you don't have it as loose as you'd like to do it, whatever pattern it is you're going to do. But if it's too hot, then you don't want to, see the steam coming off that? If it's too hot, you don't want to add certain things. Like I can't add the honey and aloe right now because it would scorch the honey. And I'm hoping, even though I warmed this up, I'm hoping that just the addition will help to cool it some. You need sea legs. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's a balancing act between not being too hot and being cool enough to add your stuff without messing it up. 202. So, no fragrance, none of that right now, because we will end up losing a lot of that, because when you add the fragrance oil or essential oil to a batter that's too hot, what happens is you lose a lot of that scent. It, as they say, flashes off. It does not mean it catches fire. Now that is the flammability. You don't want to get that near, an open flame. But as far as being hot batter, it's not gonna catch fire or anything like that. But what does happen is you lose some of the scent. I can, however, add the sodium lactate, because that's not gonna be hurt by the temperature, and just might help to cool it off a little bit. Also help keep it fluid, which we need. As it stands now, we've got the sugar water in, we've got the sodium lactate, and we got a couple more things to add. But we are going to let it cool, but not let it dry out. That's going to be a fun trick. We shall see if I can manage that. So stick with me and we'll give it a few minutes to let it cool. Okay, I'm back. Here we go. I have not touched it since we last spoke. 180. Still too hot for the honey and aloe. Lovely. And go ahead and add the witch hazel. And I've almost got all the witch hazel in. Then we'll check it. So I'm going to finish getting the rest of this mixed in, and then we'll check the temperature and see about the honey and aloe. So hang in there and I'll be right back. Okay, I just finished adding the witch hazel, and I also took the temperature, and it was at 164, so it was plenty cool enough for me to add the honey and aloe that I had. So that's all in, and I'm going to go ahead and put the Greek yogurt in, and then we're going to wait 5 minutes to let that sit. After 5 minutes, we add the, I started to say seasoning. Yeah, the seasoning. We add the scent and divide it and put the colors in it and pour. Valerie from Shellbrook Handcrafted Soaps always says that the yogurt will actually cook and be, you know, chunks that you got to dig out of your batter. And so I took her word for it because I thought she would know. And so I always make sure that I stir it in really, really well with the whisk. And I'm going to get those crispies off the side. Then we're going to cover it, and we're going to wait for 5 minutes. Oop. Alright, drop it in the soap, then put it on the soap. Alright. And I've got a pan of, a skillet of hot water that's sitting on the stove. And so that's what I'm going to, when I divide the batter out and color it, I'm going to cover it with plastic and put them in that skillet with the water in there. Keep them hot while we pour. So we're going to wait 5 minutes and we'll come back. So hang in there. Okay, I'm back. I have a metaphor. I have a metaphor for you. Would you like to hear my metaphor? A metaphor. The metaphor is making soap is like Thanksgiving dinner. And here's how. It takes you 2 days to prepare, and it takes 20 minutes to eat it and be done with it. And oh my gosh, and then the cleanup. You spend 2 days cleaning it up. It's very much like soap. Yep. Okay, here we go. We're going to add the fragrance and then split it into the different colors. The fall and 1970s colors. Alright, I'm doing 1 ounce per, jeez, look at that. 1 ounce per pound, 4 ounces. That's what's going in. And this is Autumn Spice. And boy, is it nice. It really is. On my fall haul video, I described it, and man, I'll tell you, it's a good one. I'm going to, I should have brought my thingamajiggy. Shoot. I usually use a ladle. I usually use a ladle. It's just too stinking bad, isn't it? That's the way it goes. I'll put the green in here. The pigments and micas that I'm using are pre-mixed with a bit of heated up glycerin. Alright, this is a little lighter than I would have liked it, but isn't it that kind of avocado green, you know, your grandma's countertop color that you thought, wow, how come it's green? Or maybe most of you were too young for that, probably. But I remember that, and I remember green telephones and green countertops and green appliances. I mean, it was just crazy. Okay, where this is going is it's going to go sit in that water bath I was telling you about on the stove. Okay, now to the next one. Now let's do the orange next. And hopefully have the color that we're looking for. Hope so. In any event, they are fall colors. Let's see. Alright, well, you know what? That's going to have to be called good enough. Because I don't want to sacrifice my fluidity for jig-jacking around with the colors. Okay, and I'm going to do just that very same thing with the burgundy. Although I can tell you right now, because of the orange, well, that was a mica, this is a pigment. I'm going to err on the side of caution, and I'm going to put some more pigment. Now, here goes the rest of it. So let me get this mixed up, covered in the water, and get my mold in place, and I'll come right back. So, Peasant out. Okay, I am getting ready to add the final color. Let's see if I can do this without a rubber spatula. Let's see. Let me see. One of my spatulas from my kitchen is going to have to be sacrificed. But you know what? That's just too bad. Just a little bit. Put a tablespoon or so in. Loosen it up. All that's going to evaporate once I cut the bars. So I'm not worried about adding little small amounts like that, because it really does not make a difference in your final product. It really doesn't. You'd never know it. Here we go. I'm going to scoop. Oh, shoot. I forgot I had that in there. Well, I think it's safe to say this one's going to stay fluid. Ooh, tidal wave. But this is going to go, yeah, it feels a little warm. This is going to go on the stove, and I'm going to move things around a little bit, get the mold in place, bring him right back, and we're going to pour and see how this works out. So hang tight. Okay, we are going to start pouring, and I am going to use this slab mold. Okay, I'm just going to keep going like this until I get to the top, and then we'll come back and show you what it looks like. I'm and bang it on the floor. Now to finish off this monstrosity. Oh, all right. That looks pretty bizarre. Take a look at this. Take a look at the mess, which is just 1 counter's worth of mess. This is 4 pounds. If I'd used all the soap instead of having to scrape it together for a sample for me, it would have, you know, made a really good sized batch. I gotta see once I get it out of the mold tomorrow. I will see what it looks like and see how many bars I can get out of it. I can't tell just at the moment because I haven't measured it off and all that good stuff. So anyway, I will be back with the cut in just a flash. So hang tight. Okay, here's what all of the different lengths that I cut from that slab look like. Some of them are on their tops, so you can see the top. Some of them are laid on the side so that you can see the pattern on the inside. And so these are the tops and these are the inside. And it was pretty soft cutting through them, and so I think I am going to trim them up a bit and do some beveling just so that they look a little bit more presentable. But I think the kind of crazy 70s zowie looking swirl turned out pretty well, actually. I was surprised, and I'm pleased with the colors. The orange could have been more vibrant, I think. It's a little bit more on the coral side, I think, than I would have liked. But I think that the green came out pretty well, and the sort of burgundy purple came out. I like the yellow, the way it came out. So I'm pretty happy about that. And like I said, that pattern came out pretty well. And so I like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut them into individual bars, and I'll take some pictures, and then you can see the the nearly finished product. But so far so good. Looks like they turned out pretty good. And also we'll see how many bars we can get out of it. So I'll bring you back and show you some pictures. So enjoy. I don't have a cutter. I have a knife. I have my phone ringing, and I